Happy Facebook Live Wednesday. I don't know if this filter is distracting, but I'm trying to prove a point. When you change either your environment, your words, the way you even look at your child, right? You are setting the environment. You're setting up your child's mindset to either argue or to cooperate. So, are you, let's be honest here, are you supportive or do you sometimes, scold? I am guilty of scolding. I think all of us do, right? Are you nurturing or nagging? I've done my share of nagging. And the third one, do you practice compassion or are you critical sometimes, right? Compassion, criticism, nurture, nagging, supporting, scolding, those are tough. So, whenever you find yourself choosing criticism, choosing nagging, choosing just not really being supportive, ask yourself, am I creating my child's positive mindset or am I contributing to my child's negative mindset? And I'm not scolding you. I am not, being critical of you. But I want us as parents to really look at what these kids are going through during distance learning, staring at a screen. If you are working remotely or, virtually, you get it, right? The Zoom meetings, falling asleep when you need to pay attention, and sometimes just not wanting to do another Zoom call. If you're working at a physical location, right, that it's just sometimes not fun, and you'd rather go home. You'd rather do something fun. So, I'm not saying that all of these will work, but these are statements that you can say when your child is saying, I can't do it. Teach them, you know what? I'm still learning and I'm going to try, right? You're instilling perseverance instead of procrastinating and instead of just giving up, because we all want to give up. But when you tell your kids, you know what? I get it. I would want to quit too, So you are being compassionate, you're putting yourself in their shoes, but you're saying, you know what? Why don't we just tell yourself today, you might not get it today, but you might get it tomorrow. You might get it the next day. And if you fail, it does not define your value. This is a hard one because we end up taking our kids' phones away. We end up, pretty much stopping the video games. And I'm not saying not to set boundaries, because as parents, we do need to set boundaries while practicing compassion. So it's words that we teach our kids to tell themselves. It's really introducing self-affirmations, right? Affirmations can be magical. In the beginning, they might not believe it, but it is saying it again and again and making it into a habit, like brushing your teeth. I always tell my students that their brain just takes exactly what they say to be the truth. You say, oh my gosh, I'm stupid, I can't do it. Your brain says, okay. So it's really rewiring. Teach your kids that their brain is just full of a highway of wires. And in order for them to utilize your brain, right? You want to use your brain to the fullest capacity. You don't want to run your brain at an empty tank. You don't want to run your brain with a really negative program, because then you're going to be having, you input negativity, you're going to have an output of negativity. So, if they say, I'm not good at this, I am not good at math, I'm not good at writing, then just say, well, what can I learn to get better? And I always do, like little fun exercises. It might not be fun in the beginning, but I'll have them do it verbally instead of writing, right? If they hate writing, practice just brainstorming verbally. And you can even sit there with them. I know it's not something you want to do, but when your child knows that you are willing to be collaborative, right? Hey, Toby. Oh my gosh, it's a person from many, many moons ago. Yeah, so when your child is saying all this stuff, right? It's like, I can't do it. Well, you know what? You're learning. Let's keep trying instead of just saying, I give up, right? There are days that you want to give up. Give yourself permission to just try a couple of times. If you need to step away, step away. If you can't do the homework, give yourself permission not to do the homework, but after trying, and then release the guilt. You know, I've told Chelsea, if you want to do the homework, release the guilt, because you can always find out afterwards, you know. So you fail. We got to learn to embrace failure instead of running away from failure, fearing failure, and just saying that failure is bad, because failure can be the best gift ever. When my husband Thomas was fired, right? He was fired from 4 Wheel Parts many, many moons ago, and it enabled him to start his own shop. It was filled with challenges, but it made him, I think, the person he is today. Sales engineer at Spectrum, without a college degree, still sometimes lost, but that's the one thing I credit Thomas. He is my inspiration that you do not need a college degree. You do not need all these fancy titles and certifications. You just need a positive mindset. You need perseverance. And you just need the self-confidence. And so parents can help your child build self-confidence or destroy self-confidence. And it depends on what words you say, even the look. Sometimes my girls say, I can just read your look. And I tell them, I didn't say anything. No, Mom, your look said it all. And my students say that. I know it's wrong. I didn't say anything. No, your look said that what I did was wrong. You know, and I always say, make your mistakes with me, right? Create a safe, nurturing environment so your kids feel safe making mistakes with you, because if not, they're going to hide things from you. They're going to lie, right? We all lied if we knew we were going to get in trouble. But if you create a safe, nurturing environment, your kids will come to you. You know, Mom, I failed. And then they know that you're not going to rip their head off, right? So you failed. Okay. What did we learn from it, right? Very non-critical, right? What did you learn from it? How do you feel about it? You know, I know it feels like the end of the world, but I still love you. Life goes on, and it's okay to fail. And maybe share an experience where you failed, where you felt incompetent, and it'll bring you closer. When your kids feel closer, they're more willing to cooperate, they're less argumentative, and they are more willing to try. I've had a few amazing testimonies, you know, where kids are swearing at their parents, banging the table, putting holes in the wall. And I just said, just change your energy, you know, and within a couple of days, the mom was shocked. You know, she stood her ground. If you don't turn on your camera, no video games. And he gave her a little bit of attitude, and he goes, all right, I'll turn on my camera. But it's amazing, you know, if you don't talk in that critical, like, I'm the boss, I'm the dictator, right? You drop that and you just make your child feel that you are on their side, you know, that it's a collaborative effort. It's not, you know what, I'm the parent, you're in this house, you do as I say, or get out, or phone is taken away. You have no video games. I've interviewed teens and they just want acceptance. They don't want to disappoint you. So these are other words you can say, right? I don't know how, okay? I can learn how, right? You can learn how. You don't need to know everything. And that's why you're a student. You're not supposed to know everything. Oh my gosh, it's Miss Terry Lynn. Yes, changing your mindset, Terry. We're talking about changing your mindset, the words to say to create a collaborative, nurturing environment instead of a nagging one, right? Talking about nurturing rather than nagging, supportive rather than scolding, and just more compassion rather than criticism. So when they say, you know what, this is boring, I give up. You know, sometimes school is boring. Why do we have to do this? Well, I always tell kids, you know, it's like going to the gym. I don't go to the gym, but people who work out are doing it for what? Physical muscles. Well, if we don't train our brain and we don't do mental exercises, who does mental exercises instead of you're losing, right, Terry? We like lose our mental mindset. We lose our mind. That's not what I'm talking about. It is academic stimulation, intellectual stimulation, and just thinking. And that's what school does. It teaches you critical thinking through boring exercises a lot of times, right? I always tell kids, I do not choose your curriculum, but I'm here to help you build your brain cells. Because you don't want to have your brain die. And I talk a little bit about Alzheimer's. Have you heard of it? You know, and I tell them, you know, you're not going to feel your brain die like right away because you're 12, you're 16. But if we don't take care of our brain, geez, you might not even be able to navigate video games, right? Because you're just like, wait a minute, what? And your memory goes. The willingness to even be motivated to play video games. I mean, if your, you know, motivation dies along with your brain cells, what do we have, right? So you don't threaten, but you just make it into a joke. I noticed this one boy and I was scared because he was hitting the table saying, I do not want effing tutoring. And I was like, oh gosh. But he came downstairs, very cooperative, very respectful. And I told him, I get it, you know, you don't want another tutor. Your dad has a tutor, they're divorced. And I said, but you know what? I'm on your side. I'm here to make school easier. He said, I want to quit. I go, you know what? He goes, what is the GED? Told him about it, 7.5 hours of testing. Let's do a couple of problems. Let's just do one. Well, if you're 11 and you're at a 3rd grade academic level, we just did one problem. And I said, you know, this is why I'm in your life, to help you just learn. So we're going to be doing fraction problems and today for homework. And you just, I think if you empathize and you tell them, yeah, man, I remember hating school. I remember struggling. But don't say, you know, like, but I did it. I was self-disciplined and I did it. Why can't you just do it? You know, then they're just not going to be your friend. We don't want them to be our friend, but we want them to respect us, and self-criticism and nagging and just being this dictator is not going to get your child to cooperate. You're not going to be creating a nurturing environment. Yeah, if you do the physical discipline, they'll probably follow what you say, but it's a short-term behavior. And then when you're out of there, all hell will break loose. I've interviewed adults who are, you know, they were raised in very strict environment. And then they said when they went to the mainland for college or 18, right, they were going crazy. Ended up getting pregnant at 17. One woman was jailed at 18 and she thought, wow. So there's a medium where you don't have to be a dictator. You don't have to be a soft marshmallow, but have your kids not be afraid of making a mistake. That's one of the things I wrote, right? I'm afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn and get better. Embrace your mistakes. I've been embracing a lot of my parenting mistakes, right? And as I do these videos, sometimes I think, you know, I talk too fast. Are people going to get the message? Am I making any difference? But I continue to show up, you know, because it is my mission. I hate seeing parents struggle. I hate seeing kids feel like, oh my gosh, my parents are ruining my life, right? Because we all want the same thing. We want our kids to be resilient. We want our kids to be respectful and responsible. And I'm telling you, it is possible. It really is possible. So what do? Incentives. Incentives really work. You have to find the right incentives, more incentives, less punitive punishments, right? So ask. They'll let you know. Can I stay up like 30 minutes later? Hey, if that's going to get them to do their work and not miss assignments, that would be worth it, right? Instead of 9, they sleep at 9:30. But they get to feel like a winner. They get to feel like, oh my gosh, I get my way, you know, or maybe playing video games on a school night. A lot of parents are like, no video games during the school week. If you have that, right? Hey, you know what? If you're done with your homework, I'll let you play video games for 20 minutes. What? Okay. I had this one kid, and I guess the deal was you have to have C's or better. Then he can play video games. So the mom said, I am taking away all consoles, no video games until homework is done. And he is in 8th grade. He said, all right. So he did his homework, less than an hour, said, okay, I'm done with all my homework. Can I play? She's like, sure, because he did it. Incentives are miracles. So, undermotivated does not mean lazy. Undermotivated just means exactly what it is. You just don't feel like doing it. You know how some of us, we don't want to show up, but we do. We don't want to work. We don't want to pay taxes. We don't want to fill in the blank. But we do, right? It's instilling in your kids that sometimes, right, we do have to do things we don't want to do, but we don't do it in a lecture mode. Still working on that. I tend to make life lessons into lectures. So I've been told by my daughters. 3 last parting comments, okay? And you hear me say this time and time again. Let go of control. Because this is what happens when you control, okay? You are pushing your child away, right? You are nagging. This is what nagging does. I read this and I thought, really? Nagging causes the problem to shift to you. Because as the parent, you're the one causing the pain. Yeah, you're being a pain in the you know what for your child, results in fighting, power struggles, and let's just say not conducive to a positive learning environment, right? Eyes are rolled, doors are slammed, and then there is no learning opportunity. They'll just shut down and say, you know what? Forget school. I will drop out. I've had 10-year-olds say that. I really want to drop out. And so I tell them, talk to your parents about it, you know? What do you do? As a tutor, I'm not a dictator, but I try to ask them questions. Do you want to get a job after high school? Do you want to graduate from high school? Yeah, I want to graduate from high school. Well, then we can't quit 5th grade, right? Realistically. Focus on the relationship, not the grades. Big one. I struggle with that. I'm owning it. My daughter failed LCC first semester. She was doing fine, doing all her work. Something happened around Papa's birthday, my dad's birthday. He died in 2016, around October 25th. I don't know what happened, what the trigger was, but the overwhelm created just paralysis. Chelsea just stopped doing work, stopped logging on. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a tutor. I've got this. I can motivate her. You guys, nothing worked. She did show up at work. She still was the part-time cashier at times, but she gave up. So I thought, oh my gosh, what if she drops out of college? What if she fill in the blank? And then, her therapist was like, if she wants to take a break, me, I'm thinking if she takes a break, what if she never goes back? But then I thought, I took 7 years to graduate. I took 2 year-long breaks, graduated. Yes, it was way longer than the standard 4 years. And then, January came along. Are you going to register? And then she registered. I said, just take maybe just 1 class. And she did. Now she's doing her work. It is only 1 math class. But you know what? I'm choosing her mental health versus her academic goals, her academic life. Especially with the high suicide rate, the high mental breakdowns, the emotional, it's truly frightening when you hear 8-year-olds killing themselves. Think about it. Over what? Pandemic depression, anxiety. As parents, I implore you, let's not add to the stress, the anxiety. Your kids might not show it. Sometimes I show up and I have had a bad morning. I feel like giving up and I show up. But, no one knows what's going on in your child's head. They could just say, yeah, I'm doing good. They're playing video games. They're going through the motions, right? I've been recently reading where the day before someone committed suicide, they were fine. They acted fine. They were excited about, whatever was going to happen. And then they hang themselves, or they shoot themselves, or they put, they kill themselves in the garage through gas, or they just end it. And I've been there. At age 30, I have shared this and been vulnerable. I decided I'm going to check out because I don't like the way life is. And I came close to 10 minutes, right? The paramedic said if no one had found me, I wouldn't have made it. Then I met Thomas the next year, had my eldest the following year. But, sorry, I digress. But you guys create a safe, nurturing environment so your kids don't lie, right? And your kids don't hide, and your kids don't give up. If your kids are lying, it means they're afraid to share because they know they're going to get lickings, they're going to get the lectures, they're going to not be supported, right? And I've done that. My daughters will be like, and I always tell them, even if you commit murder, and they're like, what? I said, I want you to know that I love you guys no matter what. I think they were like 10. They were very young. And I said, I want you to know that I need you to come to me and share, right? Share and know that you'll be punished more if I catch you in a lie. So I'd rather, have you tell me. And then, boy, they tell me things that I would rather not know. But you know what? To live with that guilt causes stress. If your child is behind in assignments and you're lecturing and lecturing, that little brain is thinking of all those missing assignments that they can't even focus on the assignment in front of them. And then they shut down, and then they don't want to do it because it feels overwhelming. It really does feel overwhelming to the point where they just want to escape. Ever had those moments where you just want to escape, watch like 6 hours of TV, or just do anything other than what you're supposed to do, right? Like the laundry, or file your taxes, or raise your child. The things that are involved in raising your child are a lot, right? We have to feed them. We have to clothe them. Yes, you can, make them do their laundry. You can, not really make them, right? That's the last thing I'm going to end with. We cannot make our child do anything. And my friend said this, she might never get it, Karen. And I was like, what? What do you mean she might never get it? Yeah, she might never get it. And it's not your responsibility to make sure that she gets it. I'm going to end with that statement. They might not get it, but you know what? Your job, once again, is not to make them get it. Your job is to love unconditionally, nurture rather than nag, practice compassion rather than criticism, and just make them feel safe and loved. That's how you change your child's mindset. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow's my mom's 90th birthday. I'm just praying that nothing happens to her. See, it's just something, I swear, worry is our default. Invest in candles. Blow them out. Blow them out successfully. This is what happens. This is life. You want to blow out the candle, and it doesn't do it. Let's see. There you go. Have a backup candle. And enjoy your day no matter what you do. Schedule a call with me. I'm going to have a mom support group March 4th. If you want to join, message me, be a part of it. Sometimes all it takes is being a part of a tribe who supports you, doesn't criticize you, doesn't judge you, but loves you no matter what. Thanks, Toby and Lynn. Lynn, did I just call you Lynn? Terry Lynn, for joining. Bye.